Our next presenter is from Oslo, where I now live. Head of Heidi Neilson, Head of Environment at Oslo Harbor. Mm-hmm. Heidi holds a master's degree in geography and a bachelor degree in environmental management. And her job is to make sure that Oslo Fjord stays clean and healthy. Yep. So my question to you is, how could the port authorities of Oslo contribute to the ocean cleanup dugnad, as we say in Norway? Mm-hmm. There are so many things on that. So let's listen to you, and I have some follow-up questions if...
Okay.
Thank you.
The Port of Oslo is part of the city, and the city of Oslo has high ambitions in regard to becoming a zero-emission city within 2030. That's 10 years from now. That means that the port also wants to contribute to this in the way that we are part of an important infrastructure for transport. And the main solution, if you keep your port city close, you move cargo from land to sea, you combine the low emission and energy efficient transport by sea with zero emission solutions on land out to the customer. So getting a blue-green logistic chain from the European market, much of our, in Oslo, everything we consume is imported. We don't produce anything in our city except waste and emissions. So the short sea transport from the big ports in Europe up into the city close areas, and we were discussing cooperation and competitiveness. When we visited Los Angeles and Long Beach port in the United States, huge ports, their message was very clear. We compete on efficiency, we compete on having good services in our port, we do not compete on environment or safety. Cooperation on the main issues is important. And I would address and also ask that we can cooperate on the same environmental issues in the European ports as we do in Norwegian ports. We've started with ourselves. In the Oslo Fjord, there are 7 different ports, and we have decided that our main platform is the UN sustainability goals. We don't want to compete on that. We want to cooperate on that. And we want to find the same solutions. So the customers that come to Oslo and the container ship goes to Drammen or the other ports, we want to have the same solutions. We want it to be as easy to plug and play as it is to charge your car. That's what you need for shipping as well. It needs to be easy to electrify. It needs to be the same solutions, so it's easy for the ships to use. And we need a good business model. But then you need a plain level field of who are you competing with? The fossil fuels? If all renewable fuels are competing with fossil fuels without the fossil fuels actually paying for the pollution that they commit and emit to our society, then that's not a level play field. So there has to do something about the pricing. And also, it should be the same competitiveness between the different modes of transport. Our friend Per Erik in Neilson was discussing the maritime cluster. I would invite the maritime clusters to also cooperate with the transport sector on land. All our ports, all maritime sectors need to have all their cargo on land-based transport as well. So the Port of Oslo has, in cooperation with the city, we have ambitious goals. We have politicians that have the same route. We want to become a zero emission as close as we can, as fast as we can. And that is not going to change with the different political situation in the city. The route is clear. All parts of the market needs to respond We need innovation, we need competitiveness in regard to renewable solutions, but we need also a clear vision, national legislation, preferably EU legislation for all parts of the transport, not just shipping, also for road transport. If we can move more cargo from the trailers that come all the way from the continent of the EU, driving all the way up to Norway, you put that on a short sea vessel, you can more than halve the emissions from that transport. And that's easy to do. It doesn't need new technology. It needs a shift of transport from land to sea where it's possible. And it's a huge market, and it's a huge potential if you just make that move. So cargo owners, wake up, use the efficient and sustainable road by sea with ships. And the ports need to respond, make infrastructure, build infrastructure. So when you are in the port, shipping companies demand shore power when you're in our port. Expect that if you are a port, you come into our port more than, or at least if you come every week, ask us, what do you need? There must be a solution. I see there are solutions. We are building the first shore power for cargo ships now. We have electrical ferries, the local ferries. All our foreign ferries have shore power in Oslo. We're looking into cruise, and we're also building infrastructure for land. And we're not sure that you can have hydrogen production in our very city-close port, which is highly area efficient, very close. Maybe we can produce hydrogen here. Maybe one of the other ports in the Oslo fjord can, and the ships are on the same route. Compete, but also find solutions on a regional basis, not just one in one port. Cooperate.
This illustrates in a way that Oslo is now becoming a green capital of Europe. And I think we need more cities in Europe doing the same. And Europe could be the place. And Europe needs to be the place to pioneer this, because you won't see the same drive in Asia.
No.
I work so much in Asia, they are much slower. But if Europe and US and other countries will take the lead, like you just described, I think there's a good position. And it's interesting to see that how you connect the port with the land, because you can never isolate ocean industries and say it's all an ocean, because it connects, and that's the way it works. So I think you are on the right track here. You still need to fix the cruise ships, but maybe you don't have so many cruise ships next year.
No, we're not a huge cruise destination. Bergen is the big destination in Norway, and they have the biggest shore power solution that's ever been built. So, but maybe all the cruise ships maybe they don't need all power. Maybe they partly power from shore. Maybe you don't need to build the huge solutions in every port. Maybe you can find a middle ground, and also making the infrastructure work in a city close area, urban architecture, all these things are very interesting. So we're looking into not just the technical solutions, they're there, but we're also looking at how can a shore power solution and a cruise port actually fit into a very city close port as Oslo.
You mentioned electric ships, battery ferries, and those kind of things. When do you think we can have pollution-free deep sea shipping?
I actually think that the deep sea shipping, they will build their own supply chain. They will find the solutions themselves. They're not waiting for companies to provide renewable fuels for them. If I see one of the corporations in Copenhagen, it's DFDS, it's a wind farm, and I think it's Maersk. There are different shipping companies going together with wind, producing hydrogen. Maybe there will be ammonia in between there, so you can use it for longer distances. I'm certain that all the different renewable fuels, they will be more expensive than the fossil fuels today. And also, I think you need to combine them with batteries so you can have an even higher energy efficiency on your ship, so you can reduce your fuel consumption. And also looking at digital solutions in the way that you find the best route. And, it's many things that you can do to energy efficient fuel
So you see
costs.
hybrids coming first and then maybe future hydrogen ships.
I think there will be hybrids all the way. I think there will be a combination of the two. So I don't think that building shore power solutions in most, at least the close ports that are in areas with highly densely areas and populated areas, build shore power. It must be a part of the solution. It is today, and it will be in the near future. It doesn't matter what the next renewable fuel is. I think it will always be a combination.
Yes. And working in China, we see how China now turns to hydrogen as one of the key technologies to develop. And I think Europe should again make sure they take a lead here. And we have a chance to also do that and include it in Europe.
And I also read yesterday that in Thailand, the first electric local ferry is being established.
Absolutely.
So some of the Norwegian technology from the maritime clusters here is going global. I'm very glad to see that.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. I think we have lots of things here we could work on. So thank you. We will turn to our next panel member.